Have you heard the phrase toxic positivity? Do you think to yourself, how could positivity possibly be toxic? My understanding of the phrase is that it's when the minute we feel negative emotion or we experience something negative, we squash down any feelings associated with that and tell ourselves it will be all right. We go to a positive affirmation or to hope and optimism, which sounds like a great thing, doesn't it? And I am definitely prone to that way of being. And broadly, it served me okay. But here's the thing that I have learned about toxic positivity, quote unquote. I think the issue is that if we don't sit with and properly experience negative emotions and learn the actions we can take to thoroughly change them, to move on from those emotions, we are at risk of squashing them down and not properly addressing them is the first thing. So we can repress those negative emotions rather than express them in healthy ways. We immediately cut to the positive and push down any sense of negativity. And that in itself can be a problem. It can lead to us embodying negative emotions, you know, producing inflammatory illnesses or chronic illnesses because we've never engaged with and expressed healthily those negative emotions. So that's the first risk. The second risk, and I think this is something maybe I've experienced, is that we lose sight of the actions we can take to actually shift our emotions, because in not properly engaging with and understanding our negative emotions, we also numb our positive end of the spectrum. We find it harder to experience joy or exhilaration. We effectively mute both ends of the emotional spectrum, or we can. And that means when we take the kind of actions that genuinely produce hormonal shifts in the positive direction, and I mean things like cold water therapy, a long run, as I've just done in the sunshine, things that are known physiologically to produce happy hormones, serotonin, dopamine, for example, we don't recognize those highs as well because we are accustomed to pressing down emotions and telling ourselves cognitively, I'm happy, everything's fine, but not feeling it. So we effectively miswire ourselves. We're feeling perhaps frustrated or disappointed or angry, but we're saying, I'm fine, everything's fine, it'll all work out all right. So we miswire our neurology to say that we're happy when we're actually not feeling it and squashing down that feeling. And that then means that when we feel genuinely happy, we've confused the wiring. It doesn't have anything to attach itself to. And that can in turn confuse our deeper understanding of how we are truly feeling. And to be able to feel and experience emotions all up and down the emotional spectrum is so important. What's key is not to become embroiled and caught up in negative emotions, to spend lots of time there dwelling and ruminating. What's important is to fully experience the emotion, acknowledge it, be with it, ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What do I need to learn in order to feel different? What action do I need to take? And then take that action and move on, and accept that negative emotions are part of the spectrum of life. But that, as it's sometimes called, toxic positivity, can be problematic for a number of reasons. And as I say, you're hearing this from someone who is definitely prone to everything's fine, it'll all be all right, it'll all work out, sort of squashing down the negative. But what I have been learning recently is how valuable it is to be with those negative emotions, because that's where the seed of real long-term change lies, the ability to be with those negative emotions and use them as the fuel for change within your life. So I hope that's helpful and interesting to you. More like this to come.